welcome back. We've got our wine, we've had a little bit of food, and now it's time to learn a little bit more about it. So we thought we'd take you through some very common wine jargon. Let's kick things off with a very common word. Dry. You probably hear it a lot in restaurants, people asking for a dry white wine. This simply means that they don't want it to have any sugar in it. And to make things more complicated, when you're referring to a fizzy white wine that you want to be dry, people call it brut. I don't know why. Next up is body. Now this can be explained in quite a few ways, but the simplest way I think I can explain it is how a wine feels in your mouth. So if it's got lots of body, it's going to coat your mouth. People might also refer to this as texture or mouthfeel. But basically, how does the wine feel in your mouth? Next up is tannins. Tannins, you hear it a lot. What are people actually talking about? Firstly, it only matters when you're talking about a red wine because they're not in white wine, and it really just refers to these particles that you find in the skins of grapes, and it basically makes your mouth feel like it might be sort of sticking together, and it gives a wine lots of body. Some people love tannin, some people hate it, but it basically makes a wine feel big. Corked. Don't know if any of you guys have ever had a corked wine, but the reason that people get you to try wine in a restaurant before you actually sip it is so that you can detect if it's corked or not. Being corked basically means that it's been affected by a disease that affects just the cork, and it basically makes the wine smell a little bit like a wet dog and damp, to be avoided. Next up is natural wine. Very funky at the moment, but to put it very simply, it literally basically means what it says. It just means that it hasn't got any sort of herbicides, pesticides. It's just natural, all from the grapes, nothing else. And that leads us nicely on to the next one, which is sulfites. So a lot of non-natural wines, they will add sulfur to the wine just to stop any sort of biological diseases and things like that getting in. So when those break down, they become sulfites, and that is what you are left with. A lot of people think that sulfites give them hangovers, but I'm afraid to say that that is just you drinking too much. Next up is oaked. This basically means that they have used oak in part of the winemaking or maturation process. When they use oak to mature the wine, it usually means that it will impart some flavors of like vanilla or maybe toast. Last but not least is mineral, and I think a lot of people will read mineral in a tasting note and wonder what on earth they're going on about, because I can't remember the last time I sort of licked a rock. But what it really means is that the wine has been made from a soil type that has sort of mineral type things in it, so it might be chalk or limestone, and that can sometimes make things taste, sounds odd, but a little bit chalky, maybe a little bit limestoney and mineral. So that is that for our wine jargon talk through. Catch you next time, and thank you for tuning in.